All right, how we doing? Mr. Petter here. Just wanted to go over some important information as we enter our last week. Can't really believe it, but this is our last week of 8th grade art for the second trimester. So if you're currently in art class, just remember that next week is our last week, and I'm talking about the week of February 22nd to the 26th, I believe. Yes, that's correct. So a couple things to consider as we enter into our last week. The biggest thing is you really want to make sure that you have a good handle on your grades, okay? Now, for this class in particular, it's going to look a little bit different than your other classes. One thing that we did differently this trimester was we just went ahead and made every assignment the same, meaning every assignment that you did for 8th grade art was a process grade. Now, it didn't matter if we did it all product or all process, because really we just wanted to make it the same. That way each assignment had pretty substantial value. Okay, now by the time we get through the 15 assignments or 16, however many it was, at the end of the trimester, your overall grade is going to better reflect the amount of work and the amount of effort that you put into the course. Okay. Couple things to consider, and I want to kind of walk you through this. That's why I have my screen pulled up here. When you click on your course, and I believe this works for all of your courses, but when you click on your art course, all right, hopefully this is still going. When you click on your art course, what you'll notice is on the left-hand side, you'll probably see mine looks a little bit different because obviously this is like the teacher's point of view. But from the student's point of view, it's going to say materials, update, and then it should say grades, okay, right around where my mouse is. Under grades, I'm not going to click on Gradebook because it's going to show you everybody's grade. But under grades, okay, you're going to notice when you click on that, it's going to list all of your assignments, similar to how it does right here, okay? Now it's going to click every assignment in chronological order. So at the very top, it's going to, actually it should be in this exact order right here, okay? Next to the assignment, it's going to tell you a couple different things. If it has an orange circle, that means that it's missing, and it should say missing. Next to that, it's going to tell you your overall grade. So if you got a 15 out of 30, maybe it's because you turned it in a little bit late, you got half credit, whatever the reason is, it should give you a little bit of a description as to what went wrong. So a lot of times when I grade things, if students get, I don't know, a 95 out of 100, I might say nice job. If they get a 90 out of 100, there might not be a comment. So just don't expect there to always be a comment. But I try to put in the comments for the most part, just to give you an idea of either what went wrong, what went really well, etc. Okay. What I would do, if I were you entering the last week, we have a lot of students with B's, a lot of students with C's, and unfortunately, a little bit more than most years, we have quite a few students that are failing art. Now, art is a very completion-based course, meaning if you complete the assignment, and I think everybody would agree with this, if you complete the assignment, then you're probably going to do fine. If you complete it weeks after the due date, well, then unfortunately your grade is going to go down, right? That's just how life works. When you do things late, when you turn things in late, there's going to be some sort of penalty applied to it. So keep that in mind. However, what we want to do is we want to limit the damage as much as possible, okay? My goal and what I hope out of this video is that a lot of students go back, they check their grade. When you look in Polaris, at the top of, when you have the grades tab open, at the top and at the bottom, it's going to tell you your percentage and your grade letter. That is the most accurate grade that you can find for visual arts, okay? If you go to like grade reporting, I'm not exactly sure how that works when it's like saved and all that. I'm just telling you, when you click your grades tab, that is going to be the most accurate report of your grade, okay? If you click on, and if you go to the HAC, Home Access Center, with like a parent or maybe your mom or dad or grandma or whatever, Maybe they check HAC. Unfortunately, not all the time is that 100% correct. Sometimes there's a couple assignments that haven't synced over there yet. It would be a whole nother discussion to explain how that works, but basically your teachers have to sync your grade and have it line up directly with HAC. And sometimes, depending on the teacher, depending on the process and how they go about things, it doesn't always do that right away. So I just wanted to kind of talk to you about that. But when you go and you want to make sure that you update your artwork and you work on some assignments that are missing, you're going to start here at the bottom and you're going to work your way up. The reason why you start at the bottom is because these are the ones that were due recently. Okay, I believe 9, 10, pen landscape, ribbons project, they were all due within the last 2 weeks. So really, if you count back the days, these ones are going to be worth more points because you're not going to be penalized as hard. Okay. Now, I do want to also emphasize that the graffiti project and the animal eye turn-in. Oops, let me go back. The graffiti project. Sorry, I don't know if that shut off. The graffiti project, the animal eye project, and the ribbons project. Those were all worth 100 points. So those are huge. If you didn't do one of those, which really you should have done it because that was what we did for weeks in art class. So you got to make sure that you do these ribbons, pen landscape, animal eye, graffiti. Those are all worth 100 points. So those are the big ones. Those are probably what I would prioritize. Okay. Outside of that, like I said, you're going to work from the bottom up. The nice thing about this, and I guess I just decided to give you a little bit of a break. Any assignment that is past, let's say 15 days due, or it's past that many days late. So if we had a project that was worth 30 points and you turned it in 30 days late, I'm not going to give you a 0 when you actually did the assignment and turned it in. What I will do is I will give you half credit. All right. Now, let's say the assignment is worth 50 points and you turn it in 40 days late. Technically, I should give you a 10 out of 50. I'm not going to do that. Okay, I will give you the 25, which is half credit. So as long as you finish it at any point in time, you will at least get half credit. Now, that's if you do the assignment the correct way. If you follow the instructions, if you complete everything that's necessary, and if you put forth effort, you will get at least half credit. Here's the misconception. And I talk to kids in class about this. A lot of times when kids see projects that are way past the due date, they don't think that it's worth it to go back and to do it. Why? Because they don't want to take all that time to get a 15 out of 30, because that's a 50%. Why would I do the assignment if the best I can do is an F? It's a misconception, because currently, if you don't do the assignment, you have a 0. So you just got to look at the total points. Any points that you can add to your grade, let's say we have 1,000 total points. Well, any point you can add towards that numerator, you got your numerator, which is your points earned, denominator, which is the total points. Any points you can add towards the top, that's only going to increase your overall percentage. Okay? Especially since there's no process or product. In this class in particular, it's all the same. Okay? So hopefully this video, if anything, it encourages you to kind of get things moving. Okay? We only have 1 week left. The way that I am doing it personally, okay, and I made a lot of people upset last trimester because people wait until the very last second, but it's going to be too late. Okay, this is just how life works. All right, the deadline. Okay, and I always laugh because whenever I give a deadline, I always have a handful of kids that try to come in after the deadline. Well, it's called a deadline for a reason. So the deadline is Thursday, February 25th at 11:59 p.m. Okay, And the reason why it's 11:59 is because if it says Friday on your submission, I will skip it and it will be a 0. Okay? Don't be the person that gets upset because you try to turn something in at 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday. That's past the deadline. All right? Make sure it's turned in by Thursday, 11:59, and you should get the amount of points that you deserve. Okay? All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else before I hop off here. But if you have any questions, if you want to know what your grade would be if you improved on this one or added this assignment, let me know. Just to give you another little example, and then I'll hop off here. If you're somebody with a 78, 88, 90, okay, every sketchbook assignment, even half credit at 15 points, that is going to be crucial. For the most part, when I plug in a 15 out of 30 that was currently a 0 or was previously a 0 out of 30, it's actually brought students' grade up about 2 to 3%. Okay, so just 15 points could bring you up 2 to 3%. So think about it. Is it worth it for you as we get close to the deadline? If it is, you got the weekend to work on it. You got next week as well. And really make sure that you finish strong and you do a nice job on that ribbons project. And also don't forget to turn in the ribbons project. Okay, don't forget to turn in the ribbons project on the last day, because then you can't go back. You can't turn that one in late. All right, that's all I have for you. If you have any questions about grades, feel free to reach out to me and I will help you out the best I can.